second video in the second part of our award, and this gives you a chance to put all those different keyboard shortcuts into practice, but also we want to learn a bit more about how we manage our files and something called the cloud. So the cloud is not a fluffy white cloud in the sky that we're talking about. It's somewhere we can store files and information, so things like our photos, our videos, and just general files. So where is this cloud? So when we talk about the cloud, what we're actually talking about is a whole load of buildings all over the world which are basically full of memory. So your computer at home has a hard drive, and that's where you store your information on it. So your videos, your files, your holiday photos, and all your homework. But we could put loads of computers in a big building or a big warehouse somewhere. We're going to call those computers servers or server farms. And that's what we're actually going to when we go to what we call the cloud. So let's have a think about how this works. Now, let's say I was an architect and I've just drawn the plans for a building. Now, I might want to share those plans with lots of people, and rather than sending a paper copy of the drawings, I can send over an electronic copy of the drawings. So the different people who are going to work on the drawings might want to see my plans. So for example, I might email a copy to the electrician. There we go, there's a copy's gone over to the electrician. Now I might send a copy to the plumber. And now I might send a copy to the bricklayer. Now look at that, I've now got 4 copies of the drawings floating around there. Now the electrician wants to make some changes. So they send a copy back to me. And also the plumber wants to make some changes. They send another copy back. So now I've got 3 copies of my initial drawing. Now I need to make those changes and send that copy back. Hopefully it's the right copy. But you can see what's happening here. I've now got, by sending things backwards and forwards, I'm going to end up with loads and loads of copies of the same drawing. Let's hope the right drawings turn up on time. Now, wouldn't this be easier if we could all just work on one drawing? So let's try that again. So I've got my one drawing, and rather than sending the drawing out to each of these people, how about I just upload to a server. I upload my drawings to the server known as the cloud, and this time I just share a thing called the link address. So if you look in the web address bar, you'll see that that's got something starting with HTTPS, and that's just a website, a web address. So if I share that web address with just certain people, and I can control what people I share it with and who can look at it, then actually we can all just dial in and look at that same drawing. So now there's only one file in existence. And another advantage of this as well is it's not actually saved to my hard drive on my computer anymore. It's actually just on the internet. So let's say I'm out and about and suddenly I want to look at my drawings. Well, if I've got a smartphone, I could dial into the drawings from there. So that's the advantage of working in the cloud. Rather than creating multiple copies of my drawings, I just have one drawing that multiple people can work on. And of course, it doesn't have to be a drawing. I might want to share photos or something like that. And it's a bit like just uploading your photos to a website where everyone can see them. But with the cloud, we can control who sees it. It might only be us who wants to look at it. We might never want to share it with anybody. We've got that option. So let's just think about some of the advantages and disadvantages of using the cloud. So the advantage of saving your files just to your desktop, you don't need an internet connection. One of the downfalls of the cloud is if the internet goes down, you can't actually get hold of your information. Or if you're out and about and you were trying to access things remotely and you're in an area of poor coverage, you wouldn't be able to get hold of your files. It's also much more secure to hold information on your own computer. So you should never upload anything too personal like bank account details or anything like that that could be used to sort of create a fake identity about you. That stuff should stay safely on your own computer. But the advantages of working on the cloud, you can access your documents from anywhere. So something you created at school, you could then create at home again. You only make one copy of the document. So for example, if you created what we're going to ask you to create as a cloud document, you'd only have to send me the link. You wouldn't have to send me the actual document. So what would we actually like you to do for this award? Well, we want you to make a presentation about the cloud. In that presentation, you should include images to help your presentation look good. Remember, you can right click and copy and then paste those images. Now, you can work in Google Slides, you can work in PowerPoint, you can work in Word, you can work in just about anything you want. But within that presentation, I want to know what is the cloud and what's a hard drive. Look at things like SSDs and pen drives. Where do they come into it? What's a server and what's a server farm? What's a link and what's an attachment? What does HTTPS stand for? What sort of things, how do we measure file size? What are the units that we measure file size in? And summarize and explain the advantages and disadvantages of using the cloud and your hard drive. One isn't necessarily better than the other. It's just different situations are good for different things. So use plenty of examples when trying to explain your work, and make sure you're using all those keyboard shortcuts we taught you in the last video. Good luck, and I look forward to seeing your work.